Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirits. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you once again for tuning in to another show this week. In this week's show, we're going to be discussing the topic cleansing the home. Also in this week's show, we have this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel in order for spirit to bring their communications through. And also in this week's show, we have the energy forecast reading for this week, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the course of this week ahead. So without further ado, let's crack on with today's subject matter. So we're talking about cleansing the home. So when I'm saying cleansing the home, I'm referring to energetic cleansing. I'm talking about all of those vibrations that stack up through the weeks, through the months, through the years, and it forms some sort of layer, energetic layer. And it can cause many things to occur in the home. It can make the occupants feel very down and depressed. It can also zap your energy, making you feel tired as well. And also you can feel like the walls are literally moving in on you and you just feel like you need to get out of that environment because it's just making you feel very uncomfortable. When in actual fact, it's your home. So you should feel comfortable. You should feel safe, cozy, obviously relaxed as well. And you should be getting your rest there. So if you're not getting any of those things, then I would certainly suggest that it is a cause for you to actually go and inspect the home from the perspective of energy. And from that inspection, you can then sort of assess what needs to occur. So, like I say, day-to-day life can affect this buildup of energy. Now, our conversations we have in the home, whether they're via a phone conversation or in person, or even it could be the fact that we have numerous thoughts that enter our mind and we're giving them our time and attention. That can also add to the environment and the energy within the environment there as well. And the emotions, obviously we all experience emotions at varying degrees depending where we're at in our life and what we focus our time and energy and attention on. But these emotions can actually seep into the environment in which we are located, i.e. our home there as well. Also, bearing in mind the visitors that you have into your home as well, and what emotions they're carrying with them and what thoughts they're carrying with them. And so you can see how all of this energy can clog up the space in your home environment. There's also if there is a lot of negative thoughts or lower vibrations that are collecting in the home, these can actually manifest portals forming in the home, which is basically an entry or exit point for any lower based frequencies to come into your home and then, I would say, absorb the negativity from in and around the environment and the people that are causing that as well. And so they will be attracted to that energy. So I would say it is to your advantage to make sure that you are doing regular checks energetically within your home so that you can understand when it does need cleansing, when it does need healing and it needs refreshing in some way. Now, there's various people that practice, I believe they call it, what's the word I'm after? I forgot the word now. It's completely gone. But anyway, there's an ancient practice where you move furniture around. Is it feng shui? I think that's the word, isn't it? And they move furniture around in order to create high vibrational energies within the home. That is also a technique that can be employed there as well to freshen up the energies within the home, as I'm sure many of you already do that. But even doing that, you will find that some of these stagnating emotions will still be there. And so this is where the cleansing of the home is very important. So first of all, in order to do this, I would suggest that assessing the home, assessing the energies. So just have a walk round, maybe walk out of your home, walk back in and then walk around the different rooms with an open mind and an open heart, and just be honest with what you're feeling, what you're sensing in that area, and just make a mental note of that as you're walking round. And what you will find is you'll find some hot spots or moments or places of sort of dense energy. Now, obviously, they will be the first things that you need to work on and you'll need to remove in order to bring back this cleansing into the home there. But also, I would say, get into the practice of heightening the vibrations within the home. And you can do that by starting by working on yourself. So making sure that your thoughts are of a higher vibrational nature. Also making sure that the music you listen to, the media that you consume, the conversations that you have are of a high vibrational nature. And you'll find that by keeping things obviously on that level, you'll have a least chance of bringing some of those lower bass frequencies in the home there as well. So keeping your vibrations high is paramount as well. Setting clear intentions. So once you've located these areas within the home, you obviously want to set a clear intention of how you would like your home to be. So most of us like to feel comfortable, relaxed. We like the love environment, don't we? We like peace, serenity. So words of that nature can be sort of embroidered into your intentional piece. I call it a piece because to me it's a form of a prayer, but it's not a prayer. Some people are uncomfortable with the word prayer, so that's why I use the terminology of peace. And so what you need to do is set these clear intentions by declaring them to the environment that you're at. So what I do when I'm around is I speak them out loud. And I say it with conviction, and I speak them through the heart. I'll put emotion into what I'm saying. So I'll say all of that first of all. I'll set these intentions. And this is what you need to be doing. And there's some other tools, spiritual tools that you can be using whilst you're setting these intentions that will actually amplify the process. Now, these tools I'm talking about are, there's Palo Santo, which is a form of holy wood that you burn, and this wood smoulders and it emits a smoke like a mist. And so whilst you're setting these intentions, you can be using that. Also, a lot of people use white sage, and again what you do is you just burn the white sage and you let it smolder so it creates a smoke, a mist. Now, this won't work on itself. There's a lot of people out there that think, oh, I'll burn some sage and that'll be the end of it. Yes, burning sage is a great tool, but you have to set intentions and put your belief system and emotions into the process whilst you're doing that. And what greater way of doing that with setting your intentions and vocalizing them out aloud there as well, whilst you're doing the practice of saging and smudging each and every inch of the environment. And I say that because I would encourage you to go into like cubby holes, like cupboards, even under the stairs cupboards, behind doors. What I generally do is I draw a figure of 8 as well with the smudging implement on each door, on each window, the infinity symbol, to secure and heighten the vibrations there as well. And so you go around each and every inch of the home doing this. Again, chanting, setting these intentions. Another chant that I like to do whilst I'm doing this is I verbalize the affirmation of I am love as I'm walking around. Now, I may say this sentiment probably thousands of times whilst I'm doing a house cleansing, but it's very important. And especially when you're doing it with that pure intention and that belief system that you are love, and you're emitting that love vibration into the atmosphere as you're saging and using these tools that I'm just describing to you. Now, another thing that you can use, and something that I do, again, when I do any house clearing or cleansing, I treat each and every case as a separate entity in itself, because obviously everybody's home is different vibrations, different energies. Now, there will be similarity with the fact that you'll be doing the intentional setting, you'll be doing the investigation work, intentional setting, and in most cases, you'll be doing the smudging. Not all, but some of the cases I work on, I use the technique of toning, vocal toning. So what I do with this is I allow my spirit guides to draw forward, and they encourage me to emit a tone such as this, or something of that nature. The notes will vary, and the length of the notes will vary as well. And what I do find in certain rooms when I'm doing this, I'm encouraged to do a different note to heighten the vibration of that vibration in that separate room within that building. And I continue to do this until my spirit guides encourage me to move on and go into the next room. So it's all about trusting your intuition with the cleansing process. And if you are sensitive enough to connect with your spirit guides, then they will lead the way in this procedure there as well. So I do that. I bring vocal toning into it. I also use a shamanic drum, healing drum as well. Not in every case. As I say, every case is separate and is different. But what I do find is that when I'm using the shamanic drum, I walk about again the house and I'm beating the drum, and I notice that there's a different beat for each section of the room or each individual room in that building. And you'll feel the tone of the drum emanating those beautiful harmonic frequencies and those tones as you're playing them. And what you're actually doing is you're heightening the vibration of that atmosphere in the rooms, and you're just getting everything into alignment again, bringing that love, bringing that healing and peace into the environment. So the shamanic drum has been a brilliant tool for me. Not in every case, like I say, but when is needed, it's an amazing piece of kit to use. But again, there's no point in just hitting the drum and thinking, yep, that's done the job. No, it doesn't work like that. You've got to, again, set that pure intention. You've got to feel into what you're doing and have that purity in your heart and be present in the moment. So you almost have to become the drum. Feel the energy of the drum as you're beating it, and allow those frequencies to emanate through you in your heart chakra. When you do that, what you'll be doing is you'll be placing that pure intention with your thoughts there as well. Don't let your mind wander. Stay present whilst you're doing it, and just focus on the tones and feel your intuition where you need to go in that room. And then just notice the changing of the beats that occur whilst you're doing this. So it's very important that you are present whilst you're doing any house cleansing, and also setting intentions and feeling them as you're going through. The tools are great, but tools are tools. Without your intervention, without your intention and your presence, they would just be inanimate objects, so to speak. So you are, I would say, the primary factor when it comes to cleansing and cleaning a home or a house or even an environment there as well. But also with doing this, what I would recommend is in the home. Now, many people don't do this for whatever reason. I don't know. But I would certainly recommend that you play music on a regular basis within the home. Now, it doesn't matter what form of music that it is you're playing. All I would say is that you align with that music. You enjoy that music. It brings you joy, brings you happiness when you hear it. And I would certainly say by playing that in the home whilst you're doing, say, some of the house chores, or you're just doing your own thing, every now and again, get some music played. And what that will do, it will keep all that high vibrational work that you've done with the house cleansing and everything. It will keep that in check. It will keep those positive energies there, and you will just notice a difference. You'll just notice a difference with that music playing. So that would definitely help you. But also, be in tune with your home. So recognize the changes first of all, before you do the cleansing work. Like I say, you do an investigation there, don't you? And you find the pockets of energy that are the strongest within the environment. But afterwards, after you've done this cleansing and healing process, recognize the changes. And the reason why I say this is because it will allow you to connect in with the vibration of the atmosphere that you're in, and you'll be able to notice any subtle changes that do occur in the home. So you'll know what to do when you feel the energy changing. You'll know that it's time to do another cleansing session within the home. And a lot of common changes that I've noticed upon doing house cleansing, one of them being is that the environment seems a lot bigger spatially. It just seems huge to what it did previously, both visually, emotionally, energetically, and spatially. First of all, you'll be aware of that. The second thing I've observed is that you'll notice a level of peace, calmness, and tranquility, and you'll feel comfortable and relaxed, almost borderline sleepy. But it's a nice sleepy feeling, a relaxed, comfortable sleep, if you know what I'm saying. So you'll understand that, and you'll feel this level of calmness and comfortability. You'll also experience an abundance of love in that environment as well. So you'll feel this through your heart chakra, that warm feeling, that relaxing feeling. It will feel like home rather than just a building, rather than just a house. The location will feel yours and you'll feel a part of it. And so that's what I observed after doing a lot of these cleansing cases. So certainly I would recommend for you to do a before and after the event as well. And remember that you are the key instrument to bringing forward this healing in. Now, such as portals and negative energy forming. Now, that's a different case entirely, and I'm not going to cover that in this episode. But what I would say, if you keep a regular cleansed home, fill it with love, fill it with high vibrational energy, then none of those things can actually have the ability to exist in that environment, because the frequencies will not align, they will not match. And so it's a bit like a weed in a garden. If that weed's not getting nutrients, not getting water from some source, it's going to fizzle away and it's going to pass away, isn't it? It's going to die there. It's not going to have any grounds for it to survive in that environment. It's very much similar to portals. They need a certain level of energy for them to carry on bringing forward their energy there. So once that's cut off, obviously they have no need to be there. But what I would like to share with you, as ever, I like to give examples of the work that I've done. So I would say before doing any of these cleansing exercises, even if it's within your own home, I would certainly recommend that you get into the habit of the practice of protecting your energy, your personal energy. Now, I've spoken about this many times before on previous episodes, where I go into, again, describing to tell you to set intentions, put yourself in a clear or whatever color ball that you feel that you need to go in, and ask for it with intention. And then, there's a mirror ball that you can place yourself into, again, setting intentions, and just ask the angels, ask the band of mercy, whatever your belief system is. It's all about intention and having that belief in your heart there. So say it with conviction when you want to be placed in a ball of light of protection there as well. Also have that strong intent as well, so the strong intent of, I am going to cleanse my home. It is full of love. It is peaceful. Those strong intentions there will help you to cleanse the environment. But also, I would say, don't be afraid to vocalize your intentions. Many people will feel embarrassed or silly if there's other people in the room and you're saying, I would now like to call in whoever you want to call in, like such as Archangel Michael and the Band of Mercy. Don't feel embarrassed about doing that. If you're going to do the job right, you've got to get over that hurdle of feeling embarrassed. That level of embarrassment will actually pull the frequency down, won't it? It will stop you from performing your role, your job in cleansing that environment. So don't let that pull the energy down. Your role and your job is to heighten the vibration, to bring in this level of love, peace, and tranquility into the environment there. So with this being the case, you just need to roll up your sleeves and get on with it. Have that clear thought in your mind, and don't allow your thoughts to be influenced by anything or anyone other than the task at hand. So like I was saying earlier, being present is also a major part of this process, because you have to be aware of what you're saying intentionally, and you also have to be aware of the effects of those words that you're using in that environment. Now, I say effects because you will feel a change the moment that you start to express these words, and whether you're using those words intentionally with some of the spiritual tools I described, such as Palo Santo, white sage, then you will notice a substantial difference within that environment there. And like I say, what I do is I call in the archangels to come and assist. And you'll know when they're around, because you'll feel this very majestic energy that comes in, and it's far beyond anything I could place into words. The only thing I could say is that you notice a shift in the atmosphere, this sense of serenity and love, and just this pureness. But having said that, there's a strength behind it. So this vibration doesn't take any nonsense. It gets the job done. And it does it with the purest love and light. And a lot of vibrations that are vibrating lower than that will not be able to remain in that environment because of this purity and of this angelic energy that's coming in, that you're intently bringing in there. And obviously I mentioned the chanting. Now, as I described to you earlier, as I say, I use the chant of I am love. And it's something that I would say probably 1,000 or more times as I'm going around a location, in order to heighten that vibration, in order to remove any lower bass frequencies. And so this is very important, that you choose the right chant that aligns with you. That's the one that aligns with me, but you've got to do something of a high vibrational nature that you feel comfortable in doing. And so make sure you're doing that. And then, of course, the toning, as I described earlier, that can vary from house to house, location to location. But there have been a few locations that I've been to, one in particular where I had to do the toning in each and every room, even in a hallway. And each one of these tonings were sort of channeled from my spirit guides and were influenced. And so certain tones were different. Some were high pitch resonance, some were very deep and low. And it was all to balance out that energy within that environment. And so some of the locations I've been to have required me to do that. One in particular that I did, I had to go into a bedroom, and I was there with two colleagues at the time, and we were doing this house cleanse. And it was a fantastic location, and you wouldn't think that this location had all of that activity, both spiritually and energetically. It was a thick soup of energy, and between the three of us, we cut through it, and we helped to heighten the vibrations and cleanse that home. And like I say, going back to when we was all in this bedroom area, I was encouraged to tone a very, very effeminate, if you like, high-pitched frequency. Imagine the Bee Gees, but probably an octave higher than that. And so I was quite shocked when my guides channeled this sound healing tone through me. And it happened for quite a lengthy period of time. So several notes were emitted by doing this. But upon that treatment coming to an end, both myself and the other two colleagues felt the immediate change in the atmosphere from that tonal work. I mean, it was so calm, so peaceful, so relaxing. Yet before, when we went in that room, we was aware of there was a portal in a mirror. in the bedroom as well. We was aware of all this sort of thought energy in the atmosphere, of fear vibration, and we was all aware of that. And upon doing the tonal work, it was like it cut through it with a knife, so to speak, and cleared that atmosphere. So when it's required, I would certainly recommend that, again, you don't allow yourself to feel embarrassed about doing it, and you trust that link that you have with your higher self or your spirit guides. And because toning is a great gift when it comes to cleansing the environment. Other locations that I've been on and investigated and cleansed homes have required, one in particular, was required to do the shamanic drumming along with the intentions in each and every room, including the bathroom and the toilet area as well. And as I was saying earlier, I was recognizing different drum patterns were being played in different environments. So for some environments, it could have been like a one-stroke beat, which allowed the drum to breathe, which allowed the tone of the drum to vibrate in that atmosphere. And the drum that I use, like I say, it's a shamanic healing drum, but I would say it's about 16 to 17 inches in diameter. So as you can imagine, it emits quite a low resonance. And when you're doing one strike hits there on the drum with intention, and you're feeling and putting your intention into that practice, being present, you can feel that vibration emanating all around that environment. And in most cases, because it's so intense, that drum and the power behind it, it does actually vibrate furniture in the room, and you can hear spoons rattling when it's done in the kitchen, and plates moving because it's so loud just with a gentle stroke there. And so upon using that drum, we did it in all the environments, all the rooms within that location. Again, the beats varied with each room, but you could feel that beautiful tone coming from the drum, and you could feel it changing the vibration within those environments. And upon finishing doing the shamanic drumming there in the home, you just felt, you could hear a pin drop. You could just feel this beautiful energy, this presence of calmness, of peace. And again, like I've described earlier, the rooms in that environment seemed to be bigger in size, and just more clearer. Whereas before doing the treatment, the rooms kind of felt like the walls were coming in on you. You felt like you was being watched, that sort of vibration. So that was an interesting case I did. There was an interesting case I did a few years back, actually, good few years back. And this case, there'd been a lot of activity in the home, paranormal, spiritually, and it required a combination of soul rescue work. It also required some portals to be closed down, and for the archangels to come in and do some healing work there in that room. And also the house cleansing work had to happen. So it was quite a big job to do from my point of view. The first thing I did was obviously the investigation, checking in all the rooms, all the environments, and then telling the client what I was experiencing. There were some interesting things, because in that location, one of the rooms, they'd done the spirit board, which is something I don't recommend at all whatsoever, because it can open all manner of portals, bring in all different entities that you don't want in the home. So that had to be shut down. That energy and portal had to be closed. There was a portal upstairs in the bathroom as well that had to be closed as well. There was lots of elf-like creatures in that environment as well, causing a bit of havoc, causing a bit of playful joviality. It was fun to them, but obviously to the people that were living in the home, it was very, very frightening. They didn't understand what was going on, so they had to be taken back to where they came from. And then the cleansing and the healing of the property with the techniques that I've shared with you today on this show had to be employed in order to restore that location to its primary glory, so that the occupants could feel safe, calm, relaxed, and call it home once and for all, whereas they hadn't been able to give it that title for a long time there. So I've been lucky enough to have some wonderful encounters in various locations all over the United Kingdom doing the house cleansing. And like I say, when you're doing it, just make sure that you're keeping each case on its own merit. So you can't necessarily do the same thing in the same location because it may not work. So you've got to trust your intuition when you're doing this work. So I hope that's helped you and gave you something to think about where it comes to cleansing your own home and keeping the vibrations high. Well, we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit. This sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. And as ever, I'm always excited to hear this part of the show because I don't know what's going to come through at all, really. And so it's always interesting to hear that back. But also in reflection, in doing the channeling and healing work, it feels very, very a blessed position to be in. And anybody can do it, by the way. You just have to put that time in, that devotion, and also you have to assess all facets of your life, including the food that you eat, the people that you keep company with, the information that you store or release from your mind there, and just having that level of openness, and also having that time set aside for spirit to do this on a weekly basis. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of spirit.
The beauty of this transmission is that we're talking about infinite love and awareness. Most of you will have encountered the vibration of love frequency throughout the course of your life. This can come in many forms, in many states. One of the ultimate forms that you'll be mostly aware of is the connection you have with your family, that invisible connection, that bond of love and appreciation. Most of you will have encountered that from the minute that you came into this shall we say, dimension. You will have encountered that beautiful connection of love, vibration. Now also, there'll be those of you throughout the course of your life that will be very much givers and receivers of love vibration. And we're talking about this can be in connection with relationships such as friendships, a deep bond and connection where you're open and you're sharing your divine love and your spark and your healing with those around you that you feel drawn to and aligned with. There are those of you that will have encountered romantic relationships, soul relationships, where you connect deep within the heart and you become one. Now this is a divine and sacred thing to encounter. You must understand, and many of you have gone through this experience several times throughout the course of your life, and we say each one of those times has been, shall we say, a litmus paper for you to expand and grow and open up your heart chakra, the portal that remains in your heart, to connecting on a stronger vibration of love and healing and oneness frequency. Most of you that have gone through romantic relationships on this level and what you would consider haven't been successful in your quest of finding true love and romance, we say to you that you are on the right path in finding it. What we also say is the encounters that you have had, matters and affairs of the heart, have led you to do a deep cleansing and healing of the old vibrations that most of you came into this incarnation with. You would have had deep hidden scars within the heart, and you would have had to clear them energetically in order to advance confidently on your pathway within your love and romantic life. Those of you that have had this encounter, that have done the inner work and have had these multiple experiences of different partners, we applaud your efforts for continually holding that vibration of love and truth in your heart, with the knowing that the right partner, the right match, the right frequency is on its way to you. And we say, indeed it is. Everything is a test, everything is a lesson, and so far you have passed with flying colors. There'll be those of you that will be listening that are fortunate enough to have your soulmate relationship straight off the bat, so to speak. You have found and connected with one another, and there's been no deviation off of that path. We say, you have been elected to take this course of action because you have already dealt with the, shall we say, emotional traumas that you would have incurred over your past lives and incarnations. And so far, it's been a pathway of smoothness, of connection, and the other party or partner has also done a level of healing to the point where they are too equally matched with you. So that union is formed, and from that union, lots of high vibrational frequencies are emitting out into the universe, as you will be offering up this beautiful connection that you have in order for everyone else in your planet and in the universe to expand and grow their experience of love, romantic love, and universal love. Universal love is the glue that binds everything together. It is the invisible force. It is the movement of this frequency that makes things come into your reality. It's that want, that desire, that pull, that magnetism. It is that invisible feeling. That's what universal love is. The reason why we talk on this subject today is because many of you will be going through various twists and turns on your pathway, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and particularly how times are changing energetically in your earthbound incarnation. We want to tell you that love is always the answer, and it doesn't matter what path you seem to be treading on, whether you're seeking a relationship romantically, whether you're in a soulmate relationship, whether you're in between stages, you're separating. What we say to you is you always have that belief of love and connection in your heart, for it is this energy and this belief system that will manifest it into your current reality. It will also keep your vibrational energies very high and buoyant, and will stop any lower base frequencies, any ideals, any manipulations from getting anywhere near you, simply because you're in a bubble of love and light, and these other vibrations cannot permeate that frequency when you're in this state of love and bliss. So irrespective of whether you're in a romantic relationship or not, your role is to hold your frequency high in the vibration of universal love. And we promise you everything that you desire will come into your physical reality once you keep hold of that frequency. It is only when you dip and when you get distracted away from holding that frequency, this is when mishaps have the potential to occur in your life path. We hope this information finds you well and gives you something of hope, something of love and light, and, shall we say, joviality and upliftment upon hearing it. We'd now like to pass this time over to another communicator who wishes to come forward and share a little bit of wisdom with you.
It's one of those things that you all have to go through in life, where you have to make decisions based around how you feel. And most people aren't connected with their true essence, and so they misinterpret energy that they are experiencing, they are feeling. And we say to you, we'd like you to assess that again and check in with yourself and say, well, is that me? By questioning, why do I feel like this? Why am I sensing that? By questioning these emotions, you get to the heart of the matter,
And then you will be able to feel your way through life more accurately, more openly. Many of you have been bombarded with energy coming in from external influential positions of power. And we say to you that it is these energies that are trying to manipulate the truth of who you are. With this being the case, we say to you that knowing yourself is probably one of the greatest gifts that you could give to yourself in order you could connect on a deep level. Apologies for the changing in the voice. We are working with another communicator who's wishing to come through right now. So forgive me for coming through. There's better. There's better. We hope you can hear me nice and clear. We had mixed channels, mixed signals. There was many people wanting to come through all at the same time. And in many respects, that's what we do. We're a collective, and I've been elected to have that voice for this section of the channeling. And what we're referring to in this communication is we're talking about you understanding who you are as an individual, as that will help you discern any energies that are not yours, and will stop this bombardment of manipulation of who you are. It will allow you to take your power back, to have your, shall we say, freedom, to have the ability to choose and to do what feels right to you, not what you're being influenced to feel. You're going to all experience this on varying degrees over the up and coming months within your year of 2023. So we wanted to prepare you ahead of that occurring. So thank you for listening to this communication, and thank you for persevering with the multiple voices that were coming through. It's simply the fact that we're talking in a collective, and one has to elect a spokesperson for the mouthpiece of the collective thoughts and feelings. So thank you once again. We're going to pass you over to another communicator that wants to bring a little bit of healing into your reality.
Know something? There's something beautiful in you. And that something beautiful in you has always been there, right from the start. You've always known it, but you've hidden it away, with the fear of what other people think of you, how they will react to you, for you living your purpose, living your truth. Many of you now are coming to a crossroads within your life where you're feeling the vibration of who you truly are. And it is impossible for you to hold and hide that vibration away, because the feeling of it is so strong and overwhelming that you've now removed those shackles, those boundaries and limitations, stopping you from shining and emanating your true self out into the world. We say to you, there's going to be lots of people around you that will be recognizing this change within you. They will be noticing how you have evolved as a person, as an individual, as a result of you listening to your true calling. What we say to you is, do not care a jot. You will feel the beauty in your connection that you have with your true essence. Allow that to continue to manifest, and miracles will happen in your life, far beyond anything you've ever comprehended. These miracles will take place in every sector of your life, as your life begins to flow with ease and grace, now that you've allowed your higher self to come forward and step in your shoes. for it is this that is your true essence. We thank you for listening, and we bid you a farewell, and send lots of love and healing to you all. God bless and take care. Goodbye.
Wow. Very interesting communication there from Spirit. 3 communicators, maybe more, because there was a shift in energy where those vibrations were aligning. But I love the content this week, talking about infinite love and that invisible bond that binds us all together. I also appreciated the fact that there was talking about romantic relationships and why some of us have gone through maybe a path where we've had to have several different romantic partners to heal past hurts that we have gone through in a past life. And so these partners have been our greatest teachers and have been our greatest healers, allowing us to flow in a new direction in our life. So that was interesting hearing that. Also, those of us that are in a romantic relationship currently, and we've been with that partner and everything's run smoothly, it was nice to hear Spirit's interpretation of that as well. The fact that those souls have done the past life healing. They've got to a level where they don't need to go through these additional, shall we say, emotional traumas, because they've already done that work through their past lives. And so this is why it runs a little bit more smoothly for some rather than others there. So that was very interesting to hear all of that. And also the fact that we are expanding our gifts and abilities and sending that love and healing out into the ether, as well as holding this vibration of truth and love from our heart, and just having that sort of more strength within the answers that we feel in our heart there as well, by questioning them to get to the heart and the truth of the matter as well. And at the end there, that beautiful communicator that said, celebrate your beauty, own it. You know, stop shying away from the truth of who we are. And once we take that power back, then our life changes dramatically. So we're going to move on to your energy forecast reading for this week. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's energy forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for Monday, the 11th of September, 2023. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I consult the wisdom of my spirit guides and helpers, and also look into the energy of the angel tarot card. So what I'm about to do now is just shuffle the pack and invite a card to come out for you for this week's energy forecast reading. And here we are. And here's your card for this week's energy forecast reading. I'm now going to feel my way through the energy of this card for you. Well, first of all, I feel that this week is going to be a really good one for you. There's lots of energy swirling around you there, lots of potentialities. Now, when I say this, I'm talking about prosperity coming your way. I'm talking about opportunities, and you have to change your mindset, and you have to remove your old belief systems. Now, why I say this, because the old version of you will say, no, I don't deserve it. I can't believe it. No, that's not right for me. I'm not sure about this. I'll think about it a little bit longer. In other words, you need to put all those old belief systems to bed, so to speak, and start and embrace this new life that is yours to claim, yours to own. Start and say yes to life. Start overthinking things and just go for it. Say yes and just trust that the universe has your back and has your best interests at heart. I also feel that a lot of you that are watching this, watch out for your teeth as well this week. Now, when I say this, I'm talking about grinding of teeth. And I'm talking about you waking up in the morning and feeling a little bit sensitive around this area, the teeth area, simply because I feel as though you're working through on a subconscious level a lot of these old belief systems that you're letting go of. So you're literally grinding your teeth in your sleep. You're doing the inner work while you sleep, basically. Also this week, there's going to be friends and family that will come to you for your advice, your opinion. Now, don't be flippant when they do this, because they've chosen you for a reason. They trust you. They trust your wisdom. They trust your decision-making process. And so see it as an honor, and don't just laugh and joke about the decision, because it will be playing heavy on this individual's life. So they're coming to you for a specific reason. So show that degree of reverence and respect when you respond to their needs from you there. I also feel with you, though, that this week you will have to amend your physical diet, the foods that you're consuming, because you're getting ever increasingly sensitive. You're going to find that certain man-made foods that you once enjoyed, whether that be a little bit of cake or something like that, will actually play a bit of havoc on your digestive system. So just amend that slightly so that you're eating more natural-based foods there. And you'll notice a significant difference when you do this, because you'll be full of more energy. You won't have that lethargic sort of sense of being. You'll be able to make snap decisions a lot more easier, a lot more efficiently there as well. And can you also stop being hard on yourself this week? That is the old version of you. The new version of you says yes. The new version of you goes for it. The new version of you seeks this adventure and accepts the adventures that are coming in. So the minute you catch yourself overthinking, procrastinating, and thinking the old ways, you've got to turn that around and think, hang on a minute, that's not me anymore. That's not who I am anymore. The new version of me says yes. The new version of me just goes for it. That's what this week is all about. So let's turn the card over and go through it with you. At the top of the card, it says 5 of water. So I'd like you to research the angel number of number 5, as I feel that that will give you some additional content and information at this moment in time there as well. I'm also being drawn to the word of water. So water indicates going with the flow, not having resistance in your life this week. Also, water would also indicate emotions. And we spoke about you subconsciously chewing or nimming your teeth, grinding your teeth. That's probably the best term I can use. And this is you getting rid of those old belief systems, those old emotions that are no longer serving you in your new version of yourself there. At the bottom of the card, it reads disappointment, regret, and forgiveness. With all of those statements, it's talking about the old version of you. You having to let that part of you go now. Yes, it did bring some disappointing results, and that's because you wasn't saying yes to life. You was procrastinating. You was overthinking. You was seeing the worst case scenario, whereas now you're not going to be like that. So it's saying goodbye to that version of yourself. Also, the regret in that statement there is talking about the things that you wished you'd have done that didn't because you were overthinking. And forgiveness is forgiving yourself for thinking and being that way. You were that way for a specific reason, and that reason was to help you in that version of yourself. You was in survival mode back then, and it got you through those hard times. However, now you've shifted up a gear and you're in thrive mode. So those mentalities will no longer serve you in that level of being. So be gentle with yourself this week and notice these substantial changes coming in for you. Looking into the artwork of the card, we've got this color of green around the edge there. That would indicate to me, I feel as though it's talking about going for it, not holding yourself back, and not being concerned about what other people think of you in doing so. There will be some onlookers that will be slightly jealous of your turn of luck. However, this is their vibration, not yours. So don't allow that to infiltrate the new version of yourself there. Also, green is telling you to trust your heart chakra and go through life by feeling. If that feels right to you, then it's right for you. No matter what it says on paper, no matter what anybody else thinks or says, it is right for you. And you can't change the truth when you connect into the truth through the heart vibration. So watch out for that. In the artwork itself, we've got this feminine energy there that's got her head in her hands and looks rather sad and crying. She's kneeling down there. To me, that is you letting your sensitivity guide you through this week. Also, it's saying to you that you have to release those old vibrations of yourself. Go easy on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. And also with this lady kneeling, it's saying to you that now's the time just to go with the flow and just release, just let it go. Let it go and kneel to the new version of yourself, because it's going to actually knock your socks off how things are going to change for you in a substantial way. There's also 3 cups there on the floor that are spilt over. This will be talking about the old version of yourself that would have perceived things rather negatively. This new shift in you starts to see things very positively. And so that old version of you is leaving you, is going from you now. There's also an angelic being there behind this lady. So that's telling you that you are guided, you're helped, you're assisted by the angelic realm this week through this process. It's almost like a transformation on many levels within your life. But it all starts from an inward journey. And then once you recognize that these patterns no longer serve you, you watch how quick it changes externally in your life there. There's a carton of milk as well on the table of this. Milk, to me, represents diet. It represents having more goodness in your life there as well. Also sustenance. So we're talking about the diet in your life changing this week as well. And there's 2 cups on the table there. To me, that indicates some sort of partnership. I feel as though there's some romantic stirrings there connected with that. So it doesn't matter what, if you're single, whether you're in a relationship, what your situation is, there's going to be a resurgence of romance and some sort of opening up in your life, in that area of your life there as well. So that's what I'm picking up for this week's energy forecast. I hope that resonates with you. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. Really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on here, I have got a Buy Me a Coffee link, which is a virtual tip jar. All of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the energy work and also the healing work that I do to help as many people transform. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on here, you would like a one-to-one private reading with myself, head over to www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com or find me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Join me every Monday on my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on Pulse Talk Radio, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now.
Well, it sounds like we're all in for a very transformative week this week by the sounds of that, doesn't it? Very exciting, lots to learn, and maybe, as the reading suggests there, letting go of that old version of ourselves that no longer serves us anymore. That can be quite difficult, can't it, in itself? But I would certainly recommend just going with the flow, be gentle on yourself there as well, and just trust those stirrings of the heart to navigate you in the right direction. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Thank you once again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I hope the content and information that was all inspired and brought forward from Spirit has resonated with you on some level. If you do have any show suggestions, any ideas, or in fact, if you have any stories related to the paranormal, self-help, or spiritual development that you would be happy and comfortable to share with the audience, then it would be wonderful to hear from you by contacting me at www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com or glennboddice@live.co.uk. And if you're happy for me to read out your encounters on the show, that would be tremendously kind of you there as well. So whatever it is you're up to this week, I hope that you have a fantastic one. And by the sounds of the reading that came through, it sounds like most of us are going to literally have that week that we've been wanting for quite some time. Whether it's because the children are back at school here in the UK as they start their new term, I don't know. You know, maybe it's brought a new lease of life into all of us adults there as well. But yes, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And please join me the same place, same time next Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on www.pulsetalkradio.com with this very show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. Have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium